I spoke with Julia Haas today. Julia Haas is a lawyer specialized in human rights and international law, working for the OSCE, more specifically for the representative of the freedom of the media in the OSCE, who wrote a very remarkable thesis on content moderation and content curation during the COVID-19 pandemic. So we spoke about platforms and platform liability and transparency on platforms. Very, very interesting debate in my view, because as you certainly know, there is so much of disinformation or information or truth or fake or whatever you might name it on those platforms happening and shaping our daily political and legal discussion on COVID-19, that it's certainly worth to think about how those platforms are regulated. And there's plenty of debate that already started much before COVID entered our life on this, going back at least to the 90s of the 20th century. That might be some kind of the basis of what we see at the moment. And there's also a lot of future in this, because institutions like the European Union have been discussing new legislative actions and instruments on this, such as the Digital Services Act and the Digital Markets Act, right in these days and these weeks. So a lot of political legal debate with very specific outcomes for our perception of the reality. And I take two key terms with me. First one is transparency, how transparent platforms should be, and that it's important not only to look on content to content issue on an individual basis. That's my first key lesson. And the second one is trust. As always, everything which requires more regulation in the field will end up with a discussion on how do we trust those platforms, and in how far do we trust the states regulating those platforms. From Telegram to YouTube, from Facebook to Google, everything was mentioned and debated. If you are into this, have a look. It will be worth the time.